Have you ever had that moment where everything is finally starting to move? You've been working towards something and it's finally here. It comes to fruition. You're starting to see the results. You're starting to feel really happy. And then suddenly it all stops. Yes, that was me. 2 weeks into my long awaited solo journey. You know, the one that I've been talking about and the one that I've dreamed about for years. And then crash, literally. But let me take you back. For a long time now, I'd been holding so much for so long. Clients, deadlines, transformation, work, grief, healing, endings, beginnings. I sold my house. I let go of most of my earthly belongings. My mom died. My father died. Um, I am making all of these bold, terrifying, liberating decisions. I had to leave my country, to sell everything, to buy a camper van, to go on adventure, to live in my camper, to be on the road. Most importantly, to finally breathe again. And it wasn't just a lifestyle shift, it was a reclamation of space, of time, of myself. And when I finally drove away, it was magic. Just me, the cats, the van, the open road, and this growing sense of peace. And I walked in the woods along the Rhine like I wanted. I breathed in freedom, space, fresh air. I cried and I grieved the people that I had loved. And I started to feel myself coming back again. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And there was quiet, and there was beauty, and there was this sense that maybe, just maybe, finally, I was arriving. And not just somewhere, but in myself. And then I fell. A bike crash out of nowhere on a cold and gray day. I broke my shoulder, I sprained my hip and my ankle, and I twisted my knee. This cut my trip short, and this paused my movement. And I remember sitting on the ground, completely dazed, in pain, pain radiating out of my shoulder, shooting through my body, not able to get up and not able to make any sense of it. Why did this happen? And the next thought, not again. Not another thing that I have to deal with, not another thing that I have to carry, not another detour from my dreams, from my journey, not another interruption that keeps me from where I want to be. Because truthfully, I'd been riding a runaway train for weeks, maybe even months, and I could feel it. I could feel the energy building inside of me. And everything was moving faster and faster, and one thing after another, and deadline, and this, and this, and this, and this. And there was no time to process. There was no time to heal. There was no time to grieve, no time to land, no time to feel. There was just go, 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 go. And I knew it couldn't last, but I didn't know how or when it would stop. And it turns out the crash was the stop. And suddenly, I couldn't do anything on my own anymore. I couldn't drive. I wasn't allowed to drive for 4 to 6 weeks. I couldn't lift. I couldn't move the way I was used to. I couldn't shower by myself. I couldn't wash my hair. I couldn't cut my meat. There were so many things that I couldn't do. And even the things that I was still able to do took forever with only just one hand. And even though I was amped up on pain pills, I was still in a lot of pain. And there I was, 2.5 hours into my journey, nobody familiar around me. What do you do? Luckily, I have really, really great friends, and a really good friend came all the way 2.5 hours to pick me up, the van and the girls. And now here I am. I'm still in the camper, but I'm not moving and I'm not exploring. But strangely, I am still in flow, just a different kind. Because flow doesn't always look like forward motion. Sometimes flow looks like full body stillness, like letting someone else take care of you for a change, like letting yourself feel the pain, not just physically, but also emotionally, like letting yourself be cared for, even when that still feels foreign. I've been taking care of myself for a very long time, and being dependent on someone for so many things, it's weird. And this pause, it wasn't planned. It wasn't desired, not at all. And it sure as hell wasn't comfortable. But you know what? It still feels aligned because this pause, it is asking me to slow down in ways that I wouldn't have chosen on my own. It's asking me to let go of performing, of timelines, of plans, of trying to make the most out of every moment. And it's also asking me to heal, not just my shoulder or my hip or my knee or my ankle, but everything that I've been carrying. The wounds, the hurt, the grief, everything is asking me for healing. And I am starting to see that this isn't the trip that I planned, but maybe it is the one that I needed. Maybe this is the pause before the next becoming. Maybe this is the season where I soften, where I rest, where I let go, so something new can emerge. Maybe this is my phoenix dying. And maybe that gets the count too. Because this stillness, this not doing, it's not nothing. It's sacred. So if you have been forced to stop, or life has slowed you down in a way that you didn't choose, maybe it doesn't mean that you're out of alignment. Maybe it just means that your flow has changed shape. And maybe that's part of the path too. So what about you? Have you ever had a moment where life made you stop and it turned out to be exactly what you needed? Let me know in the comments below this video, because your story might be exactly what somebody else needs to hear today. And if you want more soul-aligned, real-life reflections like this, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that you turn on notification, because there's more to come and you don't want to miss it. If you are looking for a community of like-minded people where you can share your stories, where you can find support among your peers, but also support from me, where you can learn about yourself, your purpose, your life path, and where you can grow together with people into the version of you that you want to be, then you might want to join the Solutions community. But if you want to go at it yourself, and if you want to discover your unique design so that you can understand yourself, your path, and your purpose in depth, while healing your heart and tapping into your prosperity, then you might want to get your BU by Design blueprint. And if you don't know what you want or what you need, or if you know exactly what you want and you want to work with me one-on-one, then I'd love to offer you a free clarity call. The links to all three of these will be included in the show notes below this video. I hope that my story is inspirational, and I would love to hear from you in your story as well. For today, I thank you for watching. I thank you for listening. I wish you an amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to sharing a lot more about my journey in the next video. Bye for now.